Hey there! Welcome to Fact Dose, where we're dedicated to unlocking the wonders of the world one dose at a time. Today, we're unraveling a tale that transcends the canvas and delves into a horrifying chapter of human suffering and survival. So, without further ado, let's dive into the chilling story of the Raft of the Medusa, a masterful painting by the renowned artist Theodore Géricault. This iconic artwork not only captures a moment in time, but also serves as a haunting testament to an event so shocking that it's forever etched in history. The Raft of the Medusa is a painting by French Romantic artist Theodore Géricault, completed in 1819, and is currently on display at the Louvre in Paris, France. It depicts the events surrounding the wreck of the French ship Medusa, which ran aground off the coast of Senegal in 1816. The painting caused a sensation when it was first exhibited and remains an iconic image of the horrors of the 19th century. The Raft of the Medusa is a painting by French artist Theodore Géricault, completed in 1819. The story of the mythological figure is full of horror and betrayal. After successfully capturing a Spanish treasure ship, the Medusa's crew discovers that the captain and his officers have hidden a valuable shipment of gold and silver on board. The Medusa's sailors decide to divide their treasure among themselves without consulting their captain. The men had been close allies, but the captain's betrayal led to a bloody confrontation, resulting in the ship's demise. Theodore Géricault quickly seized upon the subject and extensively studied this news story before depicting what would become the greatest masterpiece of his life. He achieves astounding realism in his painting, which captures all of these important events in all their vivid glory. The Raft of the Moslem is a powerful work that reminds us of the power of truth and the importance of sharing. How could one remain indifferent to such a scene? Géricault immortalizes a moment of heart-wrenching horror against a backdrop of hope. To reach solid ground, the shipwreck survivors have no choice but to construct a raft. For 13 days, they all endure a true ordeal, ravaged by thirst and hunger, with some even resorting to murder. Only about 10 of them survive. Thus begins a remarkable 3-year-long investigative effort. Géricault interviews survivors, constructs a model of the scene, and creates numerous preparatory sketches. He even visits the morgue to study corpses. It's easy to understand why this 5-meter by 7-meter canvas fascinated and scandalized the public so much. Géricault managed to shed light on a French naval failure and turn it into an exceptional work of art. The Raft of the Medusa has become a legend. In many aspects, the 28-year-old painter demonstrates his genius through this finely crafted work. Everything has been thought out and calculated. Besides the striking power of the chiaroscuro, the first thing we notice is the pyramid composition that elevates us towards a sky that is only slightly brighter but extremely heavy. The canvas as a whole embodies profound romanticism. Almost all the living characters have their bodies turned toward the man who calls for help, waving a piece of cloth to the point of risking his own life. The downward axis of the painting clearly indicates that death has begun to take its toll on the men. Lifeless bodies litter the wooden planks, and Géricault left nothing to chance. One man holds his dead son in his arms. Others lie stretched out, their bodies partially submerged in the water, a tragedy perfectly captured by the painter. Dozens of preparatory studies allowed Géricault to capture the postures, emotions, and the atmosphere of death through a meticulous selection of colors. Most of the flesh is in various stages of decomposition. The shadows that cover the bodies and corpses give an unparalleled depth to the canvas. After enduring dark nights in the cold, battered by waves and icy winds, the objective is clear: lighten the raft to survive. The weaker individuals are thrown into the sea and abandoned, leading to scenes of cannibalism. Despite these more traditional elements, Géricault challenged everything about the conservative approach to art in Raft of the Medusa. The unified moment of a history painting that should teach a lesson of moral virtue is instead a scene of horror. The suffering figures then turn their backs on the viewer in a dark, dramatic light, reminiscent of Caravaggio. In a history painting like Jacques-Louis David's Oath of the Horatti, for example, The painter presents the men and women directly to the viewer with a clear, even light that makes it possible to see everything. A guest star in Géricault's painting, Eugene Delacroix, another painter and a great admirer of his comrade, posed for the representation of this character clinging to a beam, facing the raft, struggling to survive. The question arises, is he already dead? Will he succumb soon? A sign of regained freedom after long days steeped in horror, the Argus appears in the distance amidst the tumultuous waves, ready to save these exhausted survivors. In just a few days, the 150 people aboard the raft descended into madness. Many perished, were cast into the sea, or died of hunger and cold. This scene of absolute ignominy demonstrates that there is hope, however slim, of returning to solid ground. Even though only 10 managed to achieve it, the silhouette of the ship emerging in celestial light reminds us that the nightmare is about to end. Géricault devoted himself body and soul to this work. He was always particularly drawn to expressing neuroses, suffering, and the evocation of death. Disappearing at the age of 32 after a tumultuous existence, he is now universally recognized as the archetype of the romantic artist. At the time, the painting was also interpreted as a critique of slavery due to the presence of a black man at the top of the pyramid, metaphorically leading the way and becoming a leader. And there you have it, the horrifying true story of the Raft of the Medusa by Theodore Géricault, a painting that transcends the boundaries of art and history. If you enjoyed this remarkable tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fact Dose for more intriguing facts from around the world, all in our quest to unlock the wonders of the world with Fact Dose. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, there's a world full of incredible stories waiting to be discovered. Until next time, this is Fact Dose, signing off.